Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, ibu bapak, puan tuan sekalian. Welcome to the International Textile and Fashion Design Webinar 2020. Respectable the Telkom University Rector Professor Dr. Adi Wijaya, SCMC, and UiTM Vice Chancellor Emeritus Professor Datu Insinyur Dr. Muhammad Azrai Kasim, Honorable the Dean of School of Creative Industry, Tel-U, Dr. Roro Retnawulan, and Dean of Faculty of Art and Design UiTM, Professor T.S. Dr. Ruslan Abdul Rohim, and all lecturers, students, and guests. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Farah Yainar Putri. I'm an alumni from Telkom University and UiTM. So it's wonderful and precious chance for me to be your master of ceremony in this event on Thursday, 10th of December 2020 in our big event, International Textile and Fashion Design Webinar 2020. With them is Textile and Fashion Industry After Pandemic. This event is collaborative activity between Telkom University Textile Craft Study Program and UiTM Fashion Design and Textile Design to strengthen relationship and create a good relationship between the two universities. For your information, this morning the signing ceremony has been held to strengthen the relationship between Telkom University and University Teknologi Mara. Regarding the improvement of the quality education at Telkom University towards a world-class university, the Faculty of Creative Industry, the Textile Craft Study Program, has collaborated with UiTM to exchange ideas and knowledge through this pandemic phenomenon in predicting the fashion and textile industry in the future. With this webinar, we hope the prepare fashion and textile designer to face the industry after the pandemic and take many positive sides of this phenomenon. The collaboration between Telkom University and UiTM will expand their knowledge and experience in international education networks. So that insight into the fashion textile industry will certainly develop well and be very useful for all of us in developing research. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, step onto the following agenda are speeches. The first is speech from Dean of School of Creative Industry, Tel-U, Dr. Roro Retnawulan. The time is yours, Doctor.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, thank you for all of you that have a time to come here to join our webinar today. And to Vice Chancellor, Emeritus Professor Dato Insinyur Dr. Muhammad Azrai Kasim, to Dean, Professor Dr. Ruslan Abdul Rahim, to Deputy Dean, Dr. Hanif Khairi, to Deputy Dean Muhammad Jamil Mat Isa, to Deputy Dean Saiful Akram, to Deputy Dean Hema Zuleika Hasim, and all the participants. Thank you for coming today, and I hope all of you in a good health. And I'm so sorry because we just have an accident in our campus, so I a little bit not prepared in a Zoom meeting today. But I hope this collaboration, this webinar, as one of our collaboration, can be continued, and we have another program to show that this collaboration is benefitful. Have a benefit and also have a lot of fruitful program, and today maybe what we going to reach is interdisciplinary research and also the community service, and the last but very important is how to help our student to pursue their real world challenge, to know that we are now living in the new era, the VUCA era world. So everyone, thank you for joining, and I hope what we have today, what we have from today webinar will be barokah for everyone. Thank you for everyone, and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much, Dr. Roro. The second speech will be delivered by Dean of Faculty of Art and Design, UiTM, Professor T.S. Dr. Ruslan Abdul Rohim. Time is yours, Prof. Ruslan.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you very much, Madam MC. And on behalf of the Faculty of Art and Design, I'd like to first praise be to Allah for giving His blessings for this successful International Textile and Fashion Design Webinar 2020. I have to again echo what Dr. Roro mentioned about what the period of VUCA times that we're going right now. And I think this is something that is being shared not just by two faculties here, but I think for all of us here. And the theme, I think, is very, very appropriate for this particular webinar, which is fashion and textile industry after the pandemic. I actually envision that this pandemic is going to be quite a while, even though we have latest news that a vaccine is out and all that kind of things. But I think it is going to take a bit more time for us to adapt to that. Okay, and I think with that, this is again my thanks to members of the Faculty of Art and Design here in UiTM, Shalam, and also the Faculty of Creative Industries, Telkom University, Indonesia. My sincere appreciation to you all for the effort put in. I think you can see the result here. I think it's very, very impressive. And again, I welcome all the eminent speakers to share their knowledge, I think, and vast experience, which is much needed, and by all faculty members and students alike. And I understand there's quite a number of people attending this webinar right now. I can't see the figures yet, but I know there's quite a number here. So let me just quickly move on. So this pandemic effect, I think, has weighed heavily on the global textile industry and the fashion industry, okay, which for both in Malaysia and Indonesia generates millions and millions of ringgit and dollars and even rupiah, I think, in the annual revenue. But because of these dire consequences of the pandemic, I think event cancellation, drop in sales, store closures. We've had a lot of what you call high-end, high street stores which has closed down. A few eminent names also, which is, I think, a few years ago, which is unheard of, but it's already happening right now. And I think this is the time for all of us, from not just the fashion and textile, but all brands to rethink again on the overall system and look into the industry as a whole. And I think this webinar is a good starting point. I welcome the efforts put in by, again, the members and the eminent speakers to share their thoughts and their experiences and to see and perhaps maybe plan. I was just talking over with Ibu Farah just now about planning about next year's upcoming events, whereby I'm very confident that a lot more, how shall I say it, follow-up events or webinars such as this to spread the word. I think that's very, very important here. Okay. Through this academic endeavor, I feel that contrary to popular belief, whereby academics are seen as more on the theory-based, I think for the fashion and textile industry, our connection with the industry is very, very close. So I think with that, what we call new approaches or new systems coming into, and which will help the industry and revive the industry or rejuvenate the industry as we move along. So I think this is something that we can actually, as academics, actually contribute to that. And I think the industry is really ready for this. I think the close relationship between academics and industry is much, much. And I think this is something worthwhile for us to really explore. It's going to be some time before everything goes back to normal, or what is known that we reach as a normal on what you call, well, I would say the new normal, but the old normal, it's not going to happen. We're looking at the new normal. This particular event, also, you look at this, I think it's something that, I think just about a year ago, we would have, it's a virtual phase, but I think nevertheless, it's still a start. And I think at this point in time, this webinar is such a timely event. And this is something that we can actually take forward. And I'm very, very confident, with academics, industry players, and the designers involved in all the fields, both fashion and textile. We're able to take those collaborative efforts. Let's just start with both our faculties or our schools together. And I think we can see that actually at the end of the day, with this, a very cohesive teamwork that we have here, I'm very confident that new approaches, new thoughts, new systems, new designs are going to, will come to fruition. And I think this is something that I really look forward as we move. It's amazing how 2020 has just swiftly gone, and we're already in December 2020, and I can only see it taking on a positive note, thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I think 2021 will be even a more, how shall I say it, a more new, it's a new light for us. So I'd like to take this opportunity again, to thank you all, and our continuous collaboration will bear fruits at the end of the day, and especially in this field of art design for textile and also fashion design. So with that, I duly end my welcoming speech here with wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Professor Ruslan. Now, ladies and gentlemen, now we will start our session on the seminar. There are two speakers and two moderators from Telkom University. We have Dr. Arini Arumsari and moderator by Ibu Citra Puspitasari. And from University Teknologi Mara, we have Associate Professor TS Dr. Rosita Tanjudin and moderator by Puan Faradiba Liliana Nasser. But before we move on to the webinar, I want to say hello to a moderator. Hi, Ibu Citra, Puan Faradiba.
Hai, Assalamualaikum.
Alright. Apa kabar,
Kabar
Puan
baik.
Faradiba?
Alhamdulillah. And how about you? Is it everything okay?
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
Ibu Citra, how about you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm good. Hopefully you too, ya, Miss Farahia, and you too, Puan Faradiba.
Okay. I want to ask your opinion about the collaboration between Telkom University and UiTM. What do you think, Ibu Citra?
I hope
We hope
this is the first time, ya, on our program after signing.
we hope we can do more event next year.
Next time will continue and going smoothly.
Okay. How about Puan Faradiba? What do you
We
think?
can do more event next year, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Right. Inshallah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think you all can wait to hear our speakers today. Okay, to shorten the time, I would like to invite Ibu Citra Puspitasari to moderate first speaker. The first speaker from lecturer of Telkom University, Dr. Arini Arumsari. Before I pass to Ibu Citra, I will read her CV. Okay. Ibu Citra Puspitasari, MDS, Lecturer of Textile and Fashion Study Program, School of Creative Industry, Telkom University. Bachelor degree in Craft and Textile from Institut Teknologi Bandung, Master degree in Design from Institut Teknologi Bandung, and now PhD student in University Science Malaysia. Alright, Ibu Citra, time is yours.
Okay, thank you for the introduction. First, can you all hear my voice clearly?
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. May peace for us all. Good afternoon, selamat siang, selamat tengah hari. Very welcome to Bapak Ibu, Tuan Puan, and the students of Telkom University and University Teknologi Mara or UiTM. Thank you for the participation in this event. My name is Citra Puspitasari for Telkom University Textile and Fashion Study Program. And today I will be the moderator for this session. Alhamdulillah, we can meet at the International Textile and Fashion Design Webinar 2020, which is held in collaboration between Textile and Fashion Study Program of School of Creative Industries, Telkom University, and UiTM Fashion Design and Textile Design. The general topic of today's webinar is very interesting about fashion and textile industry after pandemic. And uh, this is exciting to be discussed because this topic is very relevant to the current condition, including Indonesia and also Malaysia. And in this session, we'll have Dr. Arini Arumsari as the speakers from Textile and Fashion Study Program. And he will present about ethical fashion industry after pandemic. Before we start, allow me to read her CV. Okay. Maybe you can show the CV of Bu Arini. Dr. Arini Arumsari, or we usually call her Bu Arini, have bachelor, master, and doctoral degree from Bandung Institute of Technology or ITB, bachelor degree in craft study program, master degree in design, and doctoral degree in art and design. And from 2008 until now, he focused in sustainable and ethical fashion as her area of study. In School of Creative Industries Telkom University, Bu Arini officiate as Vice Dean of Finance and Resources. For reminding, please all participants, for Q&A, you can write the question on the chat box below. And okay, let's start. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Arini Arumsari. Bu Arini, you can take the floor. Time is yours.
Okay. Assalamualaikum. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Arini Arumsari. I'm a lecturer at the Bachelor of Textile and Fashion, School of Creative Industries, Telkom University here in Bandung, Indonesia. And thank you, Ms. Farahia as Master of Ceremony and Ms. Citra as moderator, and also the webinar committee for giving this opportunity for me. And thank you so much to Puan Faradiba and Associate Professor Dr. Rosita, also all of our friends in UiTM who has been willing to join this event. And also thank you for the all participants that has been joining this webinar. I am really happy and excited. In this webinar, could you show my slides? Okay, in this webinar, the committee gave me the theme is fashion industry after pandemic, and I am specializing this theme into ethical fashion industry after pandemic, and more specific in Indonesia. Why? And I will explain it in the next presentation. Next, please. Okay, so the background of my topic is that based on data from the government of the Republic of Indonesia, in Indonesia, which is the fourth most populous country in the world, of course, with such a large population, it also have very large industrial activities too. So in this creative economy era in Indonesia, the industries are divided into 16 subsectors, and fashion is one of them. In fact, it is one of the biggest subsector. So as you can see in the image on the right, fashion has become one of the biggest industry in the term of total domestic income, a number of workers, total exported product, and number of company. And it's compared to the other 15 subsector. So yes, the development that happened in the fashion industry will have a big impact on many things, such as economic, social, and also the environment. And like any big industry, the impact can also be good and also bad. And back to the fact that Indonesia is one of the big countries, so the pros and cons of industry in Indonesia will also affect the work community. So we really do have to concern about it. I mean, next. And okay, in this fashion industry in Indonesia, there are several parties who play a major role. First, I will resume about the role of the Indonesian government in this creative economy. And following is the development strategy of Indonesia's creative and digital economy until 2045 from Indonesian government. In particular, this data comes from the Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy. And the strategy developed is divided into 3 phases. And at this time, we are still in the phase of strengthening the big subsector. And of course, craft and fashion are one of the big subsector. And in the whole development of the creative economy, it can be seen that the government has also made strategies that will be implemented. Next. And the strategies have also been further mapped. This table shows which ministries or government agencies have been identified, then what are the roles for each of these institutions. And furthermore, it has been planned what programs or activities will be carried out to achieve the initial objective. And when we view from this table, there are several programs that have been regularly run in recent time, and there are also new programs. So hopefully this program can be realized well. Next. And the following has also been made by Indonesian government. What things will affect the development of the creative industry in Indonesia towards the world megatrend in 2045. These 10 items consist of middle class development, competition for natural resources, rapid technological development, climate change, and etc. Maybe we can jump to the next slide. But it turns out that in 2020, something very unexpected and sudden, which is not included in these 10 things, there's the COVID-19 pandemic. So in terms of industry, this pandemic has destroyed many things. Many industries have stopped, workers have been laid off, companies have closed down, and so on. But on the other hand, I think there is also a very big lesson from this pandemic. The whole world suddenly fell silent and paused for a moment for the hustle and bustle that usually happen. And in silence, we reflect how is this going, and then we transform and make a change. So what kind of transformation? What I have noticed since this pandemic hit are among the various bad things that have happened, there is also a good thing that is spontaneously released by us as a human. Let's say, for example, we become more concerned about the social situation and environment around us. We see around us when many people start to lose their job or income, people share and make donation. That's the first. And then people also became more concerned about their health, so that there were more effort to run a healthier lifestyle in the pandemic by exercising, cycling, and others. And I guess there is also a lifestyle trend that is very popular in Indonesia now, that is planting and farming. So more environmental and natural friendly. Okay, next slide, please. So back to the Megatrend slide, the transformation to become more concerned about social and environmental condition in fashion industry as well. If we refer to the slide about the words Megatrend 2045 from the Indonesian government, it is very much in line, I guess, because there are several problems that should have been worried even if a pandemic did not occur. For example, climate change and competition for natural resources that must be addressed. And especially with this pandemic, the problem has become even more real. But on the other hand, there is also the potential that environmental friendly fashion can be more developed. There is the development of the middle class economy segment, which is a very potential target market. This middle class, in terms of income and education level, has the right qualification because they are able and willing to buy this environmental friendly product. Because usually environmental friendly fashion products tend to be more expensive than regular fashion products. Next, please. And next, this is still data from the Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy Indonesia that in Indonesia, company with a social and creative concept has great potential and it's really needed. And what is unique in Indonesia is that this effort in the social and environmental field are closely related to local values or traditional culture of Indonesian people. Next, please. Okay. Regarding the development of ethical fashion movement in Indonesia, this is the timeline. I have started collecting data on this movement in recent years. As far as I can trace, this movement began in about 2008 and 2009. If it compared to other countries, maybe it is quite late, but this environmental friendly fashion movement have continued to roll out in Indonesia and are increasingly year by year. So the type of events in this movement are a kind of fashion show, competition, exhibition, talk show, and others. And the overall resume of about 1 decade of this environmental friendly development in Indonesia is that although the phenomenon of environmental friendly fashion development in Indonesia is triggered by global issues about climate change, global warming, and etc., but it is also can be seen from the terms that used in the event. We also refer to foreign terms such as eco, sustainable, green, and etc. But actually, in Indonesia, there are different characteristics in the practice compared to those in the Western countries. The characteristic in Indonesia is highlighting the localization and the richness of the culture. And besides that, based on the timeline that I present, of course, it showed that it is quite good. It showed that in Indonesia, there has been awareness from various groups in fashion regarding environmental friendly fashion. But at the time, until about 2018, the movement from were still temporary activities. So even if there is a product made in the movement or the event, they are still products specifically made from the event. They are not yet sustainable, not yet the main product produced by the fashion brand that made it. So then what about after that, after 2018, did the movement stop? Of course not. In fact, after that, many fashion brands that specialize in environmentally friendly concept emerged in Indonesia and become a new trend. And next slide, please. So, based on the previous research that I have done, in this research, I did a search on the image of fashion brands with environmental friendly concept, and I found that the fact that there is one region in Indonesia that is very prominent, and it's Bali. Beside the famous tourism and the nature and the culture of Bali, I also found that many of the environmental friendly fashion brands came from Bali. For the whole Indonesia, I found more than 70 brands, and then I focus on for case study. Tarum Bali, Ikat Batik, Surya Indigo, and Bali Artanadi. But because the time is so limited, I will explain only one, Tarum Bali. It is located in the Blabatu area, Gianyar Regency in South Kuta, not too far from the hustle and bustle of Kuta Beach, about an hour. Next slide, please. Okay. This is one of the process that done in Tarum Bali. There is an interesting story. When I met and interview Mr. Made Arsana, or I call it Pak Made, the owner of Tarum Bali, I asked him why Pak Made start the business like Tarum. Pak Made told me that in 1990, he already had work settled in a confectionery company in Kota Bali, and he becoming the confidant of the company owner. But this company keep using synthetic dyes in the production process, and the coloring waste is disposed of to the surrounding environment, thus polluting the environment and disturbing people in the society. And it happens all the time, and it's very uncomfortable for Pamade. And he said, I do realize that the fashion business is profitable and it can fulfill the lives of many people. But if in practice it pollutes the environment, disturbs society, and so on, it is really wrong. It can't be like that. So he chose to resign, start his own company that using natural dyes as the coloring method. And another interesting things, when I asked the next question about natural dyeing, why was the type of dye chosen was leaf, as shown on the my presentation? Because they are, he said that because he said the leaves were chosen because I believe that it won't hurt the tree. If the leaves are harvested, they can grow back later. How inspiring, Pamadi. And at Tarum Bali, the first process that is carried out in making a product is the first coloring preparation. At this stage, it begins with planting trees, which are the source of the main raw material. And the tree planted in Tarum Bali workshop in Gianyar and also in other areas near the workshop. And the next stage is after the leaf is harvested, it is cut from the tree trunks, and then it is crushed by the machine. Then then some of the leaves that has been cut are stored first for further use. Then the leaves that have been crushed are extracted by boiling them with a special boiling machine. And if the leaf extract is finished, it can be used right away or can be stored for later use. Next, please. And the next process in coloring with natural dyes that have been previously extracted, the material that dyes have to be made from natural fiber. It can be in the form of it can be still in the form of fiber or yarns, which will then be woven, or the material is already in a sheet of fabric. And then before the yarn or fabric is dyed, it is soaked first to optimize the dye absorption process. After that, it is dyed and then dried, as shown on the slideshow. Okay, next. And in the next process, after the yarn has been dyed and dry, it's taken into the weaving process into the clothes. The weaver at Tarum Bali workshop are local residents who are trained to use manual weaving machine. Okay, next. And this is the another best practice in Tarum Bali workshop. it's about waste treatment. So there is also a facility for treating liquid waste that produced by the coloring process. It contains a waste flow path and a waste storage pond that plant with water hyacinth. If in Indonesia we call it eceng gondok, tanaman eceng gondok. So that the liquid that returns to the ground or the surrounding environment is safe with no chemical or other toxins. Next, please. Okay, and here are Tarum Bali products. As you can see, most of them are fabrics in various sizes. They can be used for fashion or home decor products. And for fashion products, this fabric can be used by wrapped or tied around the body, same way as how we use traditional fabric as like Balinese clothing. And Tarum Bali has also started to develop ready-to-wear fashion products. The style or characteristic is simple, and the product is not made with complicated or glamour pattern. But even though it's not yet using the zero-waste fashion design method, so there's still a room for improvement to make it more sustainable, I guess. Next, please. And okay, now we enter the theoretical domain. What the theory said about what has already done at Tarum Bali and led by the owner, Pamade Arsana. Okay, there's in line with Victor Papanek designatic theory. In designatic, a good design, Victor Papanek says that the good design is not only about aesthetic, people, environment, or functional value, but it also has deep-rooted spiritual values that are owned by the designer or business owner. And the designatic theory is also matched with Trikaya Parisuddha principle, which Balinese people believe in. This aspect also consists of three aspects, Bayu, first Bayu, second Sabda, and the third is Idep, which is we seen in the chart. The deeper the circle, also the deeper the meaning. The spiritual or transcendental values in designatic theory is same as the Idep principle in Trikaya Parisuddha. So the transcendental value is same as the Idep principle. It consists of spiritual values that designer have. The designer have to confirm it. And so it can be concluded that this principle is held firmly by Balinese people. So that makes sense why so many ethical fashion brands have emerged and developed in Bali. And next. And the fashion brand is in Bali was a real example of the role of industry in the ethical fashion movement in Indonesia. And furthermore, I also want to explain how we as academics can also play an important role. I cite a theory from Ursula Tichner, which is called Level of Design for Sustainability. And it consists of three levels, which if we see in the chart above, the top method, namely eco-redesign, is the simplest method, and getting to the bottom is the most comprehensive method. The eco-redesign method, the first method is means identify and reduce negative environmental impact for existing product or process. And the second is eco-innovation method. It means develop products or methods that are entirely new and with the consideration to ecological and social factors since the initiation phase. And the third, the most comprehensive, was sustainable system innovation methods, and it means inventing a system or service that offer a long-term value, which also refrain from ecological and social problem. And I want to share a story about in our departments, textile and fashion in Telkom University. Two of the three methods above have been implemented in the student final project. And I also remember when I visited UiTM February, the student in UiTM also already made a lot of similar ethical fashion product, and I really feel glad about it. And next. Okay, and here's the project. This is the project in eco-redesign method. There are many projects that processing waste or leftover material from fashion production process, because especially in Bandung, there's a lot of production house about fashion. And there is also a project that redesigning from second-hand or vintage clothes into a new fashion products. So even though the material used is second-hand material or even the leftover of the product, but the final product is supposed to be a new fashion that has high aesthetical, economical, and functional values. And the first is the processing of leftover material from denim tailors to become men's jacket by Hasna Husni Agus. And the second is this second-hand denim upcycle inspired by Japanese culture, Sashiko by Denisa Herina. And another project is upcycling process from local brands leftover fabric in Bandung by Sania Nuri Islami. All the project is a redesign project. And the next method, this is the eco-innovation method. In our department, it divides into two main topics, zero waste fashion design and the natural fiber and dyes. This is the zero waste fashion method. The fabric is processed in such a pattern so that no leftover or wasted fabric. The first is about convertible fashion for traveler. And the second is zero waste pattern making on Tenun Baduy. And the third is tie-dye and paraffin resist dyeing. It was very interesting. And then the next project, please. This is the natural fiber and dyes project, still in the eco-innovation method. In our department, this kind of project is quite a lot. But here are the example of the best work. The first project is marbling technique using coconut husk, and the second was stamping technique using banana stalk and indigo vera dyes, and the third is screen printing technique using indigo vera paste. Okay, I guess that's all. We are really proud of our student work, and I have reached the conclusion of my presentation. Okay, the first conclusion was, beside the bad effects that this pandemic has caused, there are also seems to be a lesson from this pandemic. That we become more concerned with social and environmental issues, and this is an opportunity to further develop in this ethical fashion, especially in ethical fashion. And the second was, we must realize that we as academic or researcher have a role to be able to provide input to industry, government, or other stakeholders to make innovation and direction for fashion industry to getting better and better. And to make the fashion industry better and more beneficial to people and also to the environment, collaboration is needed between various parties, from government, from industry, and from us, from academics. And the last is, having a role in ethical fashion can be done in many ways, not just only one method. So let's be more excited to innovate. I guess that's all for me. Thank you very much. Maybe question as a next session. Okay, thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, Alhamdulillah, we already listened to the presentation before from Bu Arini. Thank you for sharing the knowledge. It's very interesting, yeah. Before we move to Q&A session, Bu Arini, maybe could you explain why we need to put attention to ethical fashion? I mean, why? Why?
Okay. My first interest in ethical fashion, or maybe sometimes people confuse about the terms. Some people say that ethical, sustainable, eco, green, and etc. But I guess it's still the same. We mentioned about fashion or design that were environmental friendly, and environmental is also about people, about nature, and other things. And uh, I really need that an ethical fashion is need to be developed in Indonesia because based on the data that I have showed before, in Indonesia, fashion industry is very big industry. So, as a big industries, if we didn't, there is also the potential of the problems. So, if the fashion industry is dibiarkan besar, dibiarkan berkembang terus without any regulation, I guess it will be very dangerous. Yes, in the other hand, fashion is have a beneficial in economy, but it still need a regulation or a method that need to be more ethical. I guess that's all.
Okay, it can be said that this is the impact of the future of
Yeah.
the fashion industry.
Yeah.
So ethical fashion is can be
Implemented. Yeah.
Okay,
Chips.
there is
Chip
one
suaranya.
question.
Chip suara.
Can you hear me? I'm sorry. For the question, okay, I have to see the chat box first. Bu Arini, there are two questions.
Okay.
There are two questions. Maybe after I read the question, you can also write away the
Okay.
answer the question.
Okay.
Yeah? Okay. The first question from Afifa Nur Alika from his student
Okay.
in textile and fashion study program. My question is. There an opportunity to make the public aware of the use of natural materials after the pandemics? And what do you think that people will aware more? Natural dyeing or the natural fiber or maybe the others?
Oh, okay. About the potential of natural. I
Is there an opportunity to make the public aware, more
Okay.
aware, I think,
Okay.
of the natural
Langsung
materials
dijawab.
after the pandemic?
Langsung dijawab.
Yes, you can
Okay.
answer.
Okay, I guess in this pandemic, people is more concerned about health and uh, about health and their comfort. So the fashion, the clothes that they need, it's also apa yang menjadi prioritas adalah yang mensupport health and their comfort. So, natural fibers, I mean, like cotton and etc., is a very comfortable material. So, I guess it is very potential for this natural fiber to develop in this pandemic era, and also after the pandemic era. And about the natural dyes can't be applied on material that not natural fibers. I guess if we dye the polyester in with natural dyes, I guess it wouldn't be work. So yeah, the natural fibers and natural dyes is it can be separated. And ini sangat potensial untuk dikembangkan. Ini diperlukan oleh masyarakat karena tadi very comfort digunakan untuk sehari-hari untuk aktivitas selama pandemi ini yang which we are more activities at home, maybe work at home, school at home, and etc. So we need more comfortable clothes for our activity. And I guess it will be akan terus berkembang lagi ke depannya, saya rasa. I guess that's all, maybe.
Maybe this is not an option ya between natural dyeing or natural fiber.
Yeah, that's not a
because,
option.
berjalan beriring ya.
Yeah,
Parallel.
it can be separated.
Okay. Thank you Bu Arini. next question from the student of Telkom University. This is Fatia dan Nuraskia. The question is, in the textile industry, will there be new innovations of textiles created after the pandemic? He asked about the innovation of textile after the pandemic.
Okay. I guess, yeah, of course, there will be the innovation. About textile in Indonesia, okay, there is di Indonesia terdapat tekstil yang sangat spesifik, yaitu kriya tekstil. I mean, traditional textile. So sometimes the traditional textile is innovate berbeda dengan modern textiles yang biasa kita dapat kita beli di secara meteran misalnya di toko. And then I guess in this pandemic era, the crafter of the traditional textile is also impact but I see that for example, batik. There's the batik. Batik is one of the most famous traditional textile in Indonesia. Itu tidak pernah berhenti untuk berinovasi, dan di saat pandemi seperti saat ini, a few months ago we celebrate the National Batik Days, and maybe di presentasi yang saya sampaikan tadi, saya menyebutkan mengenai nilai-nilai sosial yang kita menjadi lebih peduli dengan sekeliling kita, dan itu terlihat di kegiatan National Batik Days beberapa waktu lalu, bahwa kita menimbulkan awareness yang lebih meningkatkan awareness yang lebih terhadap para pengrajin kita, sehingga walaupun sekarang saat ini kita dalam era pandemi, mana ekonomi sedang sulit, tetapi kita tetap mengapresiasi. We still collective buy the batik product with the difference is maybe before pandemic we go to Jogja, we go to Solo, we go to several region yang memproduksi batik, that produce batik, but now we buy it online. I guess that's the difference. And the traditional crafter mau tidak mau mengikuti perkembangan teknologi, so they sell their product to internet, to shopping online, Instagram and another thing. I guess the innovation is also about not only about the product, but also how to buy and how to sell the product. I guess that's all.
Okay, thank you, Bu Arini. For the next question, there is a question from alumni from UiTM. The question is related to the financial issues.
Yeah.
And sustainable fashion, yeah. Okay. I read the question. After the pandemic, some of us or most of us will be facing some financial issues, yeah, of course.
Yes.
And as we all know, sustainable product can cost more than normal fast fashion product. So does that going to affect anything?
Yes. Okay. About the financial impact in ethical fashion product. So actually before pandemic, it also has itu merupakan suatu stigma dalam produk yang menggunakan konsep ethical fashion or eco-friendly, because the natural dyes, the natural fibers, and another process, long process, it menghasilkan harga yang lebih tinggi, betul. I also mentioned in my presentation that the ethical fashion product is tend to be more expensive. But I guess as we see in Indonesia, as we see in the mapping of our government, Indonesian government, there is a potential in maybe not a lot of people in Indonesia, a lot of economic segment has afford to buy the ethical fashion product, but there is a several segment like middle class segment, maybe us is one of the segment. So the segment is mampu secara ekonomi dan I guess about the ethical fashion is selain mampu, selain bisa mau membayar, mau membeli, and it's also people who buy the ethical fashion is not only buy the compare the fast fashion. This is cotton and this is also cotton, but this is the fast fashion and this is the ethical fashion. The fast fashion is cheaper than the ethical fashion product, so I just want to buy the cheaper. I guess the people who buy the ethical fashion product is want also to buy the values. That's people with more knowledge wants about the ethical fashion. So they able to fulfill the price. Mereka mampu dan mereka mau membeli karena mereka mengerti bahwa produk ini, the ethical fashion product is having more values, bahwa dengan membeli produk ini kita lebih peduli terhadap lingkungan, lebih menjaga lingkungan, mengapresiasi pengrajin dengan baik. Saya rasa seperti itu. Jadi mungkin ethical fashion product mungkin saat ini belum bisa diapresiasi oleh semua kalangan ekonomi, tetapi sudah mulai ada kalangan ekonomi yang mau dan mampu membeli dan itu semakin berkembang ke depannya gitu.
So we can say that there's still hope, ya.
Yeah, of course. There's still potential. Yeah.
Okay, and once more. Yeah,
Okay.
one more question. Okay, I think that's enough. The time is over. Okay, that is very interesting for us hearing the discussion, that we do before, and based on the previous discussion, maybe it can be summarized that the COVID-19 pandemic present many challenges, including the fashion and textile industry, and it is a complicated phenomenon actually. And especially for the fashion industry, they need to understand what the phenomenon means within depth insights. The situation may accelerate the shift to greener, more sustainable supply chains, which will not only be decisive for business, but also impact the future of the fashion industries as a whole. In 2019, McKinsey identified sustainability as one of the key priorities for the fashion industry, improving the sources of raw materials with better recycling processes, reducing water consumption, and substituting hazardous chemicals with safer alternatives are among the measurements that can cut the environmental footprint of fashion and help the industry to survive in the new business scenario. And during this pandemic, based on the Bu Arini's presentation, we reflect on what strategies need to be done so that the textile and fashion industry can continue to exist. And after reflecting, we need to carry out a transformation by referring to two aspects, social awareness and environmental awareness. And there are three aspects of concern in design ethics. There are creativity, beauty, and art. And the second, ecological and social responsibility. And the third is transcendental values. And there are levels of design of sustainability divided into three levels: eco-redesign, eco-innovation, and sustainable system innovation. And the most important things is we do need is collaboration between government, industry, academician, and also the community. And as Bu Arini said in the last presentation, there are many ways to play a role in ethical fashion. We can start from ourselves, we can start from simple things, we can start from now. Once again, Bu Arini, thank you very much for the sharing the knowledge. This is the end of the first session. I represent the School of Creative Industries, Telkom University. Would like to thank you to the Faculty of Art and Design, University Technology Mara, all the committees and all the participants. I hope we can meet again in the upcoming event on 2021. To Ms. Farahia, I pass it back to you. You may take the floor. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Arini Arumsari and Ibu Citra Puspitasari. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the next speaker will be delivered from lecturer of University Technology Mara, Associate Professor T.S. Dr. Rosita Tanjudin. And now I would like to invite Puan Faradiba Liana Nasar to moderate second speaker. Before I pass to Puan Faradiba, I will read her CV. Alright, Puan Faradiba Liana Nasar, MA, Senior Lecturer of Textile Department, Faculty of Art Design, University Technology Mara, Bachelor Degree in Textile Design from University Technology Mara Shah Alam, Master Degree in Design Technology from University Technology Mara Shah Alam. Puan Faradiba, time is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and very good afternoon to our colleagues from Telkom University Bandung, Indonesia Fakulti Seni Lukis Reka UiTM, and our honorable speaker, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Farah from Faculty of Art and Design, University Technology Mara, Malaysia, and I will be the moderator for this session. Welcome everyone, and thank you for joining our prestigious webinar 2020. International Textile and Fashion Design, entitled Textile and Fashion Industry After Pandemic. This webinar organized and hosted by School of Industry Creative Telkom University in collaboration with Faculty of Art and Design, University Technology Mara, Malaysia. For this session, the presenter will have 30 minutes to present, and Q&A session will be held soon after. For any inquiries to our presenter, please do drop your questions in the chat box. Raise hand at the bottom of the screen. The agenda for today, we are pleased to welcome our special guest, Associate Professor T.S. Dr. Rosita Muhammad Tajudin from Faculty of Art and Design, University Technology Mara, Malaysia. Before the presentation begins, let's see our presenter CV in the screen. Associate Professor T.S. Rosita Muhammad Tajudin is a lecturer of Fashion Design Department from Faculty of Art and Design, University Technology Mara, PhD in Apparel Merchandising and Design, Iowa State University, USA, Master's degree in Technical Education from University Technology Malaysia, UiTM, Bachelor of Art degree in Fashion Marketing from University of Northumbria at Newcastle, United Kingdom. In areas of specialization is Apparel Merchandising and Design, Fashion Retailing Management, Fashion Branding and Marketing, Fashion Entrepreneurship, Costume and History, Consumer and Behavior. Without further ado, I would like to welcome our special guest to deliver the presentation entitled What Will Change in Fashion and Textile During and After Pandemic. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Associate Professor T.S. Dr. Rosita Muhammad Tajudin. This session is now yours.
Okay, Assalamualaikum and very good afternoon to all our distinguished guests as well as our listeners for today's webinar session. Firstly, I would like to thank you for the invitation given to me to present at today's webinar session. And let me just introduce myself. I am Rosita Muhammad Tajudin, and I'm from Faculty of Art and Design. And as what you all aware, Farahia, who is the what you call our MC for today's session is my student that just completed her Viva last July. She did very well, and I'm very proud to have her here with us at today's session. And at the moment also, I'm also holding a post as the head of postgraduate studies for the Faculty of Art and Design in UiTM Shah Alam. Okay, today my presentation is more or less, it's all about, I mean, we are looking into, the industry as well as we as academicians, what we can do in order to overcome as well as to attend the situation that we are facing right now due to the COVID-19 pandemic. So the title of my presentation is what will change in fashion and textile industries during and after pandemic. As what you all aware, due to the COVID-19, there are a lot of obstacles as well as challenges facing by the industries, especially for apparel and textile producers. So this has already given an impact not only to the producers but also as us, the academicians, as well as the students, okay, how we can attend to this situation so that the industries can sustain over time, okay? Fashion executives and businesses pioneers are currently focusing on crisis management and what are the contingency planning that we can do in order to make sure that the apparel supply chain, everything can work together, because at this point of time everyone is started to work on their own because of the pandemic, and because of we have been asked to secluded ourselves. So therefore this is the right time for us to look into how this coronavirus will impact fashion and what can be done to rewire a fashion system that is no longer working. So this is what we have to do. Okay, next, and of course, one of the most sector that affected from this COVID is the manufacturing. So we are talking about textile manufacturing as well as the apparel manufacturing. So this is also one of the main sector that had affected due to the pandemic. And of course, how COVID-19 affects the fashion industry as a whole. So of course, in this developing world where healthcare systems are often inadequate, and this somehow affected the countries that produce fashion as well as textile, because not every country are fortunate to have a good healthcare system, and this somehow will damage the resources that help to produce the apparel as well as the textiles. So, and of course, we are looking into countries such as Bangladesh, okay, Cambodia, Indonesia as well, okay, who are the key players in apparel productions. So due to this, pandemic, it has affected the job sectors. Most people are jobless, and this somehow affect, their wages, and somehow this will contribute to the performance of the industries. Okay, the interconnectedness of this industry is making it harder for business to plan ahead. Why I say interconnectedness? Because when you say that interconnectedness is whereby due to this pandemic, all of the supply chain members, such as the manufacturers, the jobbers, the converters, the retailers, they just cannot work together. So this is whereby we, as one of the people that involved in this industry, have to look into opportunities as well as look into strategies that we can help to make sure that these all supply chains can work back together. So, and of course, what I can say here, the interconnectedness in the supply chain due to the pandemic COVID-19 has led towards disruption in the supplies, in the shortage of suppliers, and this caused joblessness. So this is how the current situation is facing right now. So I'm talking an overview. I'm giving an overview picture of how pandemic has caused these sectors to be kind of declining. Okay, and of course this is some images that I can share with you about, I mean, the producers of the apparel. They comes from Bangladesh, they come from Pakistan, they comes from all over the developing countries, and these manufacturing workers are greatly affected because due to this pandemic they receive small orders, and sometimes there are no, I mean, there are none orders at all. So this somehow affect their income, and of course when they don't have income, or maybe they are paid low wages, so this somehow will contribute to their performance. They will not perform, and this will lead towards the quality of the merchandise. So we do not want this to happen in our country as well as our producers. We want to make sure that our product can be sustainable, can be, can be used, and the quality is still maintained. So this is how it is, the current situation. And of course, the Vietnam, yeah, I mean, of course, the Cambodia, one of the biggest exporters of of textile and apparel. When it comes to total income, they earn more than 80% comes from the textile and apparel manufacturing industries. So due to this pandemic, and of course, this has damaged their income, and and this started to decline their economy. So I mean, everybody, every channels, every parties, every organizations in the industry, as well as us as consumers, are highly and badly affected. So how can we overcome this situation? So this is what I'm going to share with you later. Okay, and of course, when you talk about these apparel producers, okay, we talk about we are referring to people or human resource from the third world country. They are not fairly treated. I mean, even though they are pushed to produce goods for the companies, but they are not being paid in a high wage. So, and then even because of the pandemic, high-end brands started to refuse to, started to cancel orders, and this somehow will affect, their social as well as their economic income, and and eventually this will affect the whole system of the apparel and textile industry. And as what you can see here, 69% of people want the fashion industry to create better pay conditions and job security, whereby at this situation, I'm not so sure whether, these people are fairly treated, because we want to keep them, with us. We want to make sure that they can perform and, contribute to the job, so that, everybody will gain from the benefits out of it. So this is the situation that is happening around the globe. And of course, the pandemic not only affects the manufacturing activities, but also gives impact towards retailing. Due to the pandemic, there's a lot of changes in terms of their consumer behavior. As for us, as consumers, we are no longer looking for something that extravagant, or looking for something that is, highly high-end brand. We are looking for something that is practical, that is fundamental, and for sure, for most, we are looking for something that is reasonable. Because of the economy downturn, we do not want to spend our money. Retailers need to look into this. You no longer, even not only retailers, manufacturers, designers, they have to look into something that, they can offer something that is fundamental. So this is what the side fall of the pandemic. We have to move. We have to transform our mindset so that we can produce something that is beneficial, as well as protect and, give them safety. And of course, when it comes to pandemic, the online retailing has been declining quite bad. You can see that indeed even online deals have declined from 5 to 20% across Europe, 32% in the US, and 15 to 25% in China. So this is all affected due to the pandemic, because people, because of the economic, because they don't have funds to pay, to spend money as what they did before. So coronavirus additionally presents a design with an opportunity to reset and totally reshape the industry value chain. So this is what we have to do. We have to look into something that we can do some changes, or maybe we can, we can just tackle the supply chain to ensure that we can supply the goods to those people around the globe without hassles, despite those what you call restrictions of the country penetration and so on. So this is what we have to look into. Okay, and this is some examples I've obtained from the International Labour Offices 2019 from the World Bank. You can see this is how the industry, they perform during 2019. You can see these are the leading manufacturers, producers in textile and apparel. And of course, with this COVID-19 that came into the world in late 2019, and of course, this has affected these countries. So international demand for their products all are collapsed. So this is particularly because very dramatic, especially in the third world country or in the developing country where the source of income rely on this textile and fashion industries. So this is kind of to share you, to give you some overview of what the scenario of the apparel and textile industries around the globe. And of course, the global textile industries, okay, not only collapsed, but but they fell up, not only in these countries like these developing countries or third world countries, but also like European Union or countries like US, Japan. Okay, they started. I mean, they don't export this merchandise, apparel, and textile to these countries because before this, these are the countries that become their source of income. So due to the pandemic, they have to change, the market, the region, or the platform in order to sell their merchandise. Okay, for the textile industry, according to Vigilant 2020, this meant less work and less income. So how we can survive if this thing is still continue? So we do not want to, to damage the countries, damage the industry. So we have to look into some opportunities or some strategies that we have to look into. Okay, the depth of those declines and speed and shape of the eventual recovery in the sector will likely not be fully visible until 2021 or 2022. So this is what predicted. And I mean, we are almost reaching 2021. So we are no longer to, to stay safe as what we are here now. We have to move forward. We have to change the way we think, the way we perform. So because I mean the tendency for the pandemic to clear from the world is hardly happen even up to 2022. Okay, so what is the future of fashion after this pandemic? So we are looking into what can we do in order to sustain even during or after the pandemic. So this is what I'm trying to share with you. Consumers are looking for something that are easily worn and accessed, not becoming a fashion victim, looking for functional pieces rather than become fashionista. We are looking to something that is flexible and sustainable. So this is what, from the perspective of consumers are our source of income. So we have to look into what they prefer. Then only we can move ahead. Okay, so this is one of the big trends that happening around the globe, whereby we not even think of designing, innovative or become so fashionable in designing masks. But this is what is currently happening. So designers, retailers, even individuals came out with varieties of face masks that address to the COVID-19 pandemic needs. So this is what we have to do. We have to look into what are the basic items that we can improve, but at the same time, we can help to sustain the industries. So this, as for example, like Uniqlo, they came up with Arism, a kind of features that can help to to flow the air easily, as well as to help order and sustain much more sustainable. So this is what we as producers, even you as consumers, students as well as academicians, have to help the industry to look into opportunities that we can strive to overcome the pandemic. And of course, like what the earlier presenter, we are looking into ethical brand. So Generation Z, this is between 16 to 24, are those who are the high influential. That means they are easily adapt and adopt to what we do. So we have to tackle this sort of consumers. We are no longer looking into something that, with heavy pockets. We are looking for somebody that, that can easily change their mindset, that can easily buy whatever that we offer. So this is what we have to look into. Okay, when it comes to changing their own behaviors, Generation Z are the trendsetters. So they are the one who willing to, to follow whatever that producers or fashion designers create or produce something that is new. So when it comes to ethical fashion, so this has been received high support from the Generation Z. Okay, and of course, not only that, so like designers, even retailers, you have to look into ways of how you want to make your product is not only feasible but it's logical, because we are not going to design something that is not logic. We're not going to design something that people doesn't want to wear. You want to make sure that people can buy your items and make full use of those items. So therefore this comes, pardon? So this comes various of your items. And okay, this comes with various designers, like for example, like Yasmina Q, she came up with a product that minimized the materials. Even they are looking into less production, avoid overproduction. Even they are looking into what you call materials that are much more eco-friendly and environmental safety. So these are the things that we designers, even producers, students, academicians have to teach our students to look into, a rare opportunities where we not even think before. So this is what we have to do in the coming years. Okay, and of course, fashion, as I said, is changing. That means when you talk about fashion, we are no longer looking into you as a designer or you as a fashion expert. We are looking as people, audience. They can become fashionista, they can become influencer in 1 or 2 weeks time. So we have to make use of these people who have a lot of followers to market our products. So this is what the phenomena that we are facing right now. We have to accept, even though it's hard to accept because they don't even learn to do fashion, they don't even learn to design textiles. But this is the current world is facing. The commoners, the audience who are passionate in fashion, they just can become, in split second, they just can become, influencer. So retailers or manufacturers or even us can use them as the intermediary to market our merchandise. So these are the things that we have to look into, because as I said, today's marketing of fashion, of course, last time we are looking into something that is, something that is avant-garde, something that is very aesthetic and highly made. But at this point of time, people want something that is fast or something that, that is rational and logic. So, and more genuine. So these people, can help us to market the merchandise. So this is what I can share from the perspective of fashion media or social media as the influencer in today's marketing of textile and apparel. And of course, as what we already aware, I think you are also aware of this. This is the new shopping pattern that emerged. So the web marketing, the online marketing, digital marketing, make sure you don't miss this opportunity, because you do not need to spend your money to have your physical store. You just can market it through this online medium. So make full use of this. This is whereby, you know, brand can grow. Even, you know, like for example, like influencer or maybe, I mean, retailers, local retailers just can assign somebody with good knowledge of visual com or media, ask them to design a good web page. So this can already help you to be, you know, to market your product and help you to sustain. We do not want to lose our business. Okay? So these are the things that we have to do. And of course, in today's what you call pandemic COVID situation, I mean, the retail technology comes in the picture. We using the avatar, we are using the artificial intelligence, we use the what you call virtual reality. It's all these are all the, you know, we even didn't think of use this. We only think of, I mean, make full use of the humans. But now, because of the pandemic, we have to, you know, get ourselves protected and safe. So we have to make use of this. Get yourself a knowledge, you know, go out and gain knowledge on this, what you call media, so that it can help you as well as to make your business sustain. This what I can say that this implies the shopping experience, because no longer people want to go out and shop. They want to just stay at home and, you know, and do all the browsing. But of course, we want to make sure they engage in this behavior. So how you want to make sure that they can engage is by having, I mean, creating a good shopping ambience, even using the what you call online retailing or using the web retail. So everything can be done. I mean, don't stop yourself during this pandemic. Everything can be, I mean, make full use of what you have, and maybe assign an expert to help you to go into this direction. Okay, and of course, but for most, we shouldn't neglect, because due to the pandemic, localization is one of the main priority in the retailing today, because we are no longer rely to export because of the pandemic. I mean, the supply chain is it's kind of break into parts. So where can we rely our source? We make full use of our local producers. We make use of our local designers, our local retailers. So this is whereby local retailers, local designers have to take this opportunity, because this is whereby the audience or the consumers, you know, they're trying to look into, you know, you want to buy them, you want to attract them. So make sure we do something that can represent our local product and at the same time maintain and retain the quality. So I think designers have to look into this, because if not, we are losing, because the pandemic itself asked us to, you know, sit tight, you know, and do your shop from home. Where else can we get our resources? So we can get easily from our local producers. So we have to look into for this during and after pandemic. And of course, less imported goods. That means we no longer, you know, bringing in imported goods due to this pandemic, and of course because of the economic downturn. So, you know, luxury brands will collapse. So these are the things that, you know, an advantage for the local producers, but of course a slight fall for the luxury brand. But this is how the world has changed. Okay, and as for producers, as for designers, you have to enhance your product. So make sure your product is at par as the imported goods. What we are trying to capture today. And of course, recycling, upcycle is something, because people want to awareness towards the sustainability, and the environmental protection and safety leads towards the attitude towards recycling goods, sustainable goods, eco-friendly goods, or maybe environmental friendly goods, and so on. And of course, you can see the increase of the second-hand goods, second-hand retailers. This is one of the what you call the sign showing that we as consumers are moving into this what you call recycle. So we are no longer saying that recycle is a bad fashion. We are looking into more what you call protection for the environment. And of course, ready to wear is something that is in now. People no longer want to get themselves measured because of the virus. I mean, the connection, the touch, and so on are not allowed. So where else can we buy our product? Of course, the mass production. So the mass production has to tackle this, has to take into uh, it form, to take part very heavily. But even though you are mass produced, make sure you don't overproduce, because we want to make sure that we still save the environment. Not everybody afford to buy the merchandise, but somehow this is the method of how you're going to produce your items. So ready to wear goods are in now. It's something that people are looking at. Okay, and of course, of fairs, fashion shows, even exhibitions, it's not going to be something that relevant. Yeah, it's something that you have to replace with all virtual runway. This is what happened for KL Fashion Week. It's all using the virtual runway as a medium to market and to display the fashion item. So, and of course, this platform or this medium will be carry along the way until 2021, even until 2022. But of course, the benefits, the advantages of it, of course, it can save the cost. It can save our costs. Okay, so that's what you call, I mean, pro and cons. But we look for the positive side of it. And this is an example of Moschino for Spring Summer 2021, where they use puppets as the models for their runway shows. Okay, this is Cherry Muggler for Spring Summer 2021, where they capture the model, what you call Bella Hadid, and they put it into a 3D form. So, so these are all the technology, the gadget, the artificial intelligence are in now. So this really what you call answer to the what you call the economic I mean the new economic picture, whereby we are looking into technology as one of the medium in our process, not only in our processes, but it's also in our marketing as well as dealing with consumers. And of course, as I said, people stay at home. They don't, I mean, they like to browse through. This is some part of entertainment. You as a retailers, what can you do? You try to capture and attract their attention. So this is also one of the ways where retailers can start to do markdowns, can start to do discounts. Even some countries like China, they started to use the single digit, like like 9, 10, 10, 11, 11 as the what you call as the sales gimmick in order to attract online consumers. So you can see that majority nowadays people looking into this, I mean merchants, they use this as the gimmick to attract people to buy the merchandise. And of course, we as consumers, we stay at home, we will be what you call affected and attracted to this sort of promotions. Okay, and of course, like I said, Louis Vuitton, I mean, due to the pandemic, they already started to transform their products. They are moving into medicational items, such as they come up with the gloves, the masks. So these are the things that maybe retailers, suppliers, designers have to look into. They look into diversifying the product, looking into creating, I mean, a related product to fashion. So this is also can help the apparel industries, textile industries to sustain. And of course, when it comes to medicational products, textile producers and fashion producers can work together. They can do the experiments on the textile, and for the fashion producers, they have to look into how design can fit into the textile. So these are the ways or avenues where people can look into. And of course, health and wellness is one of the key important thing that we always we always focus, and we are focusing right now. We are looking into what you call health because of the pandemic, and due to that, retailers, businesses, apparel and textile producers have to look into this sort of merchandise, athletic wear, athleisure, looking into materials that can help to sustain or to prevent this virus, when you do your exercise or when you go out to do your recreational activities. These are all can be done. So there's no stop when it comes to design and apparel and textiles. Okay, and of course, talking about design, talking about fashion, talking about textile, we are always run away from trend forecast. So due to that, we as designers, consumers, retailers, we have to really aware of what the color forecast that can fit to this pandemic. You are not trying to produce something that is bold in color, something that bright. We are looking into subtle and more earthy trend color forecast. So we have to look into that. Not only that, we are looking into minimalism in our production. We try to design something simple, but yet attractive, yet nice to see. So these are the things that you have to look into. And we are looking into something basics, fundamental. So these are the things that people, producers have to look and venture into this area. And as a conclusion, to survive this pandemic and emerge stronger, leaders in apparel, footwear, even in textile industries, they have to incorporate sustainability within stabilization and new growth strategies in order to to sustain. Okay, the post-COVID consumer will prioritize trust, because we as consumers, we are not allowed to go out very frequent, or we cannot easily go out in the public, So how you as the producers want to attract these people? You have to build their trust. Create the retail management, consumer relationship, to ensure that you are being transparent to your consumer, because they are not in front of you to test the government. Everything is done online. So how you want to make sure that they are into your product? So you have to make sure that, these are the things you have to build the trust. Okay, and of course, finally, as textile and fashion producers, we have to so we have to look into what you call collaboration, integration. Okay, how we can make sure the supply chain can work as a team back again. Okay, and finally, this is a summary of my presentation. From the aspect of fashion orientation, what we have to do during and after pandemic, we have to look into sustainability. We have to look into something that is practical, and we have to look into something that is mass produced or ready to wear. From the aspect of consumers and environment, they are looking into something that is more safety, digital consumer market. Everything is done on online platform. We are looking into improvise the retail technology so that we can still sell our merchandise. And finally, we are make use of the social media as our medium to market our merchandise. And of all these, fashion and textile industries have to create a product or services that not only value added, but they have to create a new value creation, and looking into something that building consumers trust. And finally, you have to create an experience to your audience, because consumers nowadays, they are very smart. They are no only longer looking into product, day one experience. This is what the retailers are still lacking. So we have to look into experiential economy, experiential marketing, where we can not only sustain them, but we want to make sure they recall and come back to us. So with that, I conclude my session. And with that, thank you very much. And I'm sorry if it might take a little bit of the time given to me. Thank you very much and happy listening.
Yeah. Thank you, Prof, for an amazing sharing of knowledge throughout this webinar session. Okay, there is a few questions from members on the floor. Okay, this question is coming from Chitra, a final year student from Telkom University. My question is, after the pandemic, will social media marketing in the fashion industry still take over the attention of consumers?
Okay, so in my opinion, from what my observation as well as my readings, I mean, this social media is a new avenue, is something that is in current. So my belief and my prediction, what I can see, that it will be sustained, not only for a short time, but it will sustain maybe up to 2022, 2023. So because I mean, as what I can say that nowadays we try to be very much economic for the producers as well as for the what you call the key players. So they will make use of these people instead of publicity. Public figure, it's better for them to use this social media as a platform to market their merchandise. And I think not only that, I mean, TikToking, okay, these are all in the trend. So we as a fashion producer, we have to make full use of this, because this is whereby we try to engage the consumers. My word here is to engage, not only to attract, to engage them. Okay, is that answer your question?
Yeah. Okay, Prof. Okay, another question is from Nur Alika from KTF Telkom University. First, I'm sorry because I don't know much about this, but I'm curious about how big sustainable fashion in Malaysia and how you guys they rebuild the fashion economy in this pandemic, especially in sustainable fashion industry and local product.
Okay, so that is quite a lengthy question, but okay, for sustainable, actually this is not something that new to Malaysia. Actually, it has been it has been informed, it has been advertised, even during this pandemic. Most designers, even our students here, when it comes to design, we have to refer to the SDG, the Sustainable Development Growth. So for me, it's not something new. It's just that the practice that it's hard to achieve, the practice as well as to encourage people to try to adapt and adopt to this. I mean, for Malaysia economic, or for the Malaysia's perspective, I can say that sustainable fashion is climbing. It's climbing. It's not something like what you see in the developed countries. They're already at a very safe place. But in Malaysia, it's still climbing, try to educate, try to get people aware of its importance, and then through research, through what you call through retailing. So I believe maybe in 1 or 2 years time, it will become something that is common in Malaysia. But for when it comes to retailing, there are some retail sectors or retail industries already came into Malaysia and start to produce eco fashion, and this somehow has educate our Malaysians. Not all Malaysians, even I believe, even like me, I mean, it took a while for me to understand second-hand clothing, because we do not wear something that already been worn by other people. But I think with the education, with the awareness, with the sustainable development growth, where we try to, to create an eco-friendly environment, but at the same time to enhance the life quality of the consumers, I think this will be able to succeed. And of course, for the localization, I think at this point of time where the pandemic outbreak, we are not allowed to shop. I mean, not to shop, not to go out from the house. But recently, the government already, release. Allow people to move to, go across the region, and this somehow will bring in the localization in our industries and local travelers. So people cannot travel overseas. They have to travel in Malaysia, and I think with all this situation, recently with those release of the movement order, somehow most of hoteliers in our country have been fully booked. So this somehow already encourage a localization among consumers.
Okay, next question is come from Nisa. I'm a small businesses owner. My question is, what's your advice for small business to grow their business with more mindful and concern about ethical aspect in this emerging world?
All right. So as a small business, I think it's not every small businesses, even the large business, but small businesses, maybe they have some limitations in terms of financial. But how you can educate your resources, how you want to train your staff, one foremost is to get them aware of the importance of sustainability. And for sure, one of the ways where you as producers, what can you do is send them training. Okay, maybe send them for short course. Okay, or maybe, encourage them to be innovative, to make full use of the existing garment and try to upcycle the fashion. So these are all some sort of formulas, or maybe some um, advice that we can train our resources. Because not everybody are fond of sustainability, fond of even know what this sustainability is about. So you can train them, send them to short courses about sustainable. Maybe you can invite a guest speaker to come to your industry and give some lecture or give some talk on this, and then try and run competition, conduct competition, make full use how you do cycle fashion, make full use of the garment, and you try to transform and translate into another piece of merchandise. So this is also another way where you can educate your resources.
Okay, next questions. Okay, I have one more questions. Many people already say that now is the time for collaboration, not competition. How do you think about collaborating local content or local product from different country? Will it work?
Yes, for me, for it to work, it might take quite some time, because not everybody, like foreigners, are familiar or are aware of our local products, or they are aware of our localities. So for me, in order for you to collaborate with other producers from other countries, it is a big what you call it is a kind of, I mean, a good idea for you to work together, because nowadays we are trying to push our local products, and by collaboration, this is one of the ways for us to be in the global setting, because we have to work along, despite, even though we are afraid that people are not fond of our product, or maybe they are not really into our product, but try to create something that is much more current, that is much more contemporary, so that the product that you create is not only attainable and marketable to the foreigners, but still it can maintain the local attributes. It's very important. I think collaborations, integration, okay, and then maybe what you call some other ways. You can not only collaborate, you can also, like you work along with other established brand and park your brand under that particular company, but using their brand name. That is also can do. So this is also one of the ways for you to do your collaboration. Nothing is impossible. Everything is possible.
Okay, next one. Based on the fashion trends and consumer habits, they are likely to change during this pandemic. What are your view and tips for startups that do not have many fashion icons and connection and capital to survive their brand?
Or how you went to survive? Let me just
Yeah, to start up.
that means without the fashion icon, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, nowadays, okay, the fashion icon, I mean, normally when we refer to fashion icon is celebrities. Okay, but for me, in today's what you call marketing of fashion, especially at this during and after pandemic, I mean, the digital platform is one of the what you call important tool that we can use. So, I mean, can we sustain when can we still perform without the use of fashion icon? Definitely, my answer is yes. Because as I said, you do not need to use celebrities. You do not need to pay them, I mean, a lot of money. The most important, you get somebody that have a lot of influences. Okay, you make use of her and you just, sponsor the items to them. So this is also one of the ways for you to, embark in this platform. Uh, I mean, doing using social influencers. Nowadays they want the items. They can wear the scarf. For example, I'm like Nilofer. Nilofer, she came up with a shawl. So she used her, herself as the public figure to market her merchandise because she's a fashion icon. But some companies, they don't have a fashion icon, but they already what you call get someone who has a lot of followers. So from there, she can just try to make a connection, sponsor those items to that to that influencer, and the influencer will start to market and share your product at the media. It is a very wise way of doing your business right now, because I mean, as I said, especially you are targeting the young audience. The young audience, the Generation Z, are those the highly influence of the merchant of whatever that you want to introduce. So make full use of these people, the influencer. Do not need to use the fashion icon. Just the influencer, as long as she has a lot of followers, that can help you to market your product without the existence of fashion icon. Maybe if you are, high-end established company, that's fine for you to use fashion icon. But if you are a small business company, try to utilize your own people who have a lot of influences. I think that can help you to market your merchandise or your product offerings.
Okay, Prof, there are last questions. Okay, as a researcher and academician, what contributions can be given to help the government and the low-income group to generate a source of income, especially in the field of textile and fashion?
Okay. First foremost, I think the government needs to play a crucial role, whereby funding. I think the funding in terms of what you call try to give more funds to the local people, to the local producers, to small businesses, to venture into new business, or not new business but new product offerings that related to fashion or textile. So that is one of the ways. I think right now, I mean, our country, like there are some ministries already realize the role of textile and apparel. So therefore, they are not only what you call contribute or participate in and give funds in research, but they also give kind of trainings to the small business owners. And secondly, I think how we want to make sure that we as textile and apparel producers are in line or at par with with like those engineers or doctors, those what you call professionals. I think one of foremost, maybe the country, the ministry, or maybe the education ministry has to look into giving recognition. Like for example, like today's in our country, like the Malaysian Board of Technologies is one of the one of the body that recognize your, your background, your expertise. So this is also one of the ways where we can help to make our industries at par as other professions, SNT. So I think get yourself, get recognition, get the, what you call the field, apparel and textile as one of the recognized sector, so that this can contribute to the economic growth of the country. And I believe like today the country, the ministry, even the government, they are aware of of our role as the exporters or importers of in textile and apparel, and they are at the one of the top 10 leading what you call source of income. So with that also, it tells the importance of our industry to the society.
Okay. Thank you very much. What a good sharing for us, Prof.
Thank you very much.
All right. The COVID-19 global outbreak has completely changed our daily life with social and economic shutdown, greatly impacting the global economy, especially to the fashion and textile industry. The conclusion that can be drawn from the presentation clearly show the effectiveness of this COVID-19 pandemic affecting all sections of society and industry. The latest data by Malaysia's Department of Statistics show that textile, apparel, leather, and footwear sector are struggling to recover from the impact of the coronavirus. So from the last slide from Professor Dr. Rosita wrap up with the keywords as a designer have to look into such as fashion, orientation, sustainability, practical and functional, ready-to-wear, consumer and environment, digital consumer market, retail technology, and social marketing. Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, finally we come to the end of the presentation. On behalf of Textile Department, Faculty of Art and Design would like to say thanks again for all team members from Telkom University and audience for your active participation. With that, Alhamdulillah and thank you everyone for joining our webinar. Terima kasih dan jumpa lagi, and I hand over this webinar to our MC, Ms. Farahia.
Thank you very much to Associate Professor T.S. Dr. Rosita Tanjudin and Puan Faradi Baliana Nasser. Thank you to speaker for giving such informative and interesting presentation. Just information, there are my supervisor when bachelor degree and master degree. Yeah, I'm so happy because I can keep in touch and communication again with my two supervisor. And also to moderator, thank you very much. And not forget to all participants for very active and participation. Hopefully this seminar will be beneficially for everybody. Amin. To give memory this event for our speaker and moderator, we will show the certificate. Please, certificate for our speaker and moderator. Okay, this for Dr. Arini Arumsari, SDS MDS. And then, okay, this for Associate Professor TS Dr. Rosita Muhammad Tanjudin.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. This for moderator Ibu Citra Puspitasari, SDS MDS. And last, this for Puan Faradi Baliana Nasar, MA. Thank you very much. All right. And then for participants, if you want certificate, please fill form in chat box. We share URL in there. All right. Thank you. You can fill in a chat box. All right. And then to document this event, I invited all participants to open the camera to take pictures together. Thank you. All right. Okay. The page 1. 1. Operator, start. Okay. 1, 2, 3. All right. Page 2. Okay. 1, 2, 3. All right. It's okay. Again, Ibu Morin. Sudah? Okay, all right. Okay. Thank you very much. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we now come to the end of this event, International Textile and Fashion Design Webinar 2020. I'm Farahia Inar Putri as Master of Ceremony today and also committee in this event. Beg your pardon of the mistaken we have made. Thank you. Thank you. See you again in collaboration event between Telkom University and UiTM. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Farah. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Rosita. Thank you all.
Thank you, UiTM. Thank you for all participants.
Bisa di-unmute.
Thank you for all the participants. You may leave the room, and if you want to get the certificate, you can fill the form on the chat box.
Fill the form.
Bu Farah, Bu Ila. Alhamdulillah. Ya, thank you ya Bu Farah and Bu Dr. Rosita.
Thank you so much.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah sukses semuanya.
Terima kasih ya.
Alhamdulillah. Terima kasih Bu Dr. Rosita.
Terima kasih.
Dia akan edit dia edit respon. Nanti dia